is there like a significant alteration that they could make in the draft that makes the life easier?
If they want to make alterations in the draft to make things easier, then having big counter-engage heroes that don't take too much micro skill to play would be pretty good, right? A clean example would be Eve, but Alter Ego seems to be consistently banning that out. Maybe they know something we don't. Tigreal is also not too bad. Maybe take it away from Alter Ego. But Alter Ego is still going to be on the blue side here. They'll go for the Granger first this time since Suyo was banned out.
So no Suyo, no Joy. We're going into the second tier assassin territory. I mean, we still have Alpha. Sometimes we saw the Fredrin getting picked a couple of times every now and then in the M series. The Akai as well. I know Hayabusa could also be a choice, but this time they are going to go for the Matilda Hilda.
So RSG is basically telling Alter Ego here, you have to pick Alpha. If you don't, we're gonna lock him in turn, and there's nothing that you can do about it because the Matilda combo has already come out. The reason they didn't go Matilda Alpha straight up is because Hilda has a higher pick priority overall. So they want to make sure they're able to lock that in first, since Alpha isn't a hero that Alter Ego would want to contest ordinarily anyway.
So yeah, like you said, the Alpha becomes a necessity for Alter Ego. Even take the high loss to kind of go along with it. But I believe there is a special term for the combo when you combine Matilda and Hilda. I think it's called Matilda. Essentially, without the T, it's a lame joke.
I gotcha. Yeah. That is.
Do you go jungler now?
That is very
Do you
true.
go into like? It is pretty true. Do you go for like a Hayabusa now, or do you?
Sagittarius guides my arrow.
Okay, so you go to Irithel.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think the jungle pool has already been narrowed down quite a bit with Joy and Suyo like being banned out. Even if they continue banning out more junglers, it's not gonna matter all that much. But having a good goal lane matchup is very, very important against a Granger, because outside of like Irithel and maybe Harith, you're not really going to get a good matchup, and this is not a hero that you can allow to safely scale up. So I do like that RSG prioritized that instead.
Now, what the bigger question is that high loss is the flex. Do you go for a mid ban?
Hope will find
I mean, there's still the Gatot you can target. You can start with the Vexana first, which caused them plenty of problems in game 1.
We definitely saw that happening. Vexana can be banned, the Hayabusa, yeah. Alter Ego will definitely start banning out junglers here. We actually haven't gotten to see the jungle hero pool much today, actually, since everyone has been going Suyo, Joy, and then Alpha Hayabusa. So now that all of those are gone, we will be seeing something different for sure from Yon. It's just what it could be.
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, there's the Julian, there is the
I didn't cure the
Ling, I guess.
is banning.
There isn't much choice left in the jungle. Oh wait, there is one more, the Bane jungle.
Ah, right. I don't get to see too much of that, but can actually be a pretty solid solution against rundown compositions. And in this case, you do have Alpha and Hylo, so it's actually not that bad. The combination with Matilda also lends itself well to something like a Fredrin, but I don't think they need too much more bulk here unless they decide to go all out on damage with that final pick as well.
Yeah, I agree. This could be... yeah, I want to say they can flex. They can't even flex the Hilda or Matilda. Unless we see that Hilda mid again. Which should be funny. Oh, there's also the Nolan, which is completely forgotten. One of the few forgotten assassins who like a year ago was like S tier. So now we
Yeah,
truly
kind of
get to
surprised
see...
they would ban that.
Right.
Because Nolan really
Cover all
doesn't
their
feel
bases,
that good.
I guess. Yeah. So this is the biggest question for Yon. What is he gonna go for? I guess at this rate, you don't even need to save your... You can just save your jungler for last and it wouldn't matter. You might as well get a better mid lane matchup.
The Valentina is already... I'm kind of surprised they banned the
think-
Valentina. I feel like RSG could have actually picked it themselves.
born with
Oh,
talent.
Wow, the Gwyn jungle. Okay.
That definitely didn't cross our minds. It is generally a pretty good option, right? It's a good way of dealing with Alpha as well, since these fighters are very weak to heavy CC.
This was one of the. This was like the Hades special. Back in I think when since Hades joined NIP Flash or Team Flash, that has been the Hades special. See that semi-final build, like a molten core into concentrated energy onto something like that.
Oh, I think
I was thinking of I feel like, you know what? This feels like a rundown draft of Alter Ego.
Team is picking.
Xavier?
To live is to trick the Reaper.
I'm not a fan of it here, actually. Like, Xavier can do good siege damage from behind, but if you're gonna go in that direction, you may as well go Sicilion for just like better scaling overall. Aurora is actually still not too bad now that you have the Faramis as well, but like now I really wish RSG had Valentina instead. I feel like they kinda tripped themselves up banning it there.
Yeah, I was wondering what could be so important that they want to ban the Valentina,
Only
right?
love and night are
So
Yeah.
Sicilion, like you said, got that late game insurance for sure. Two heavy hitters for that late game. But plenty of damage to blow through the nether realm for sure.
And they do have the Matilda as well to save them if they do get run down, but Alter Ego just feels like a much scarier lineup, honestly. RSG has the more difficult lineup to execute on. There's some heroes that require a good amount of micromanagement, especially like with the Guinevere and the Sicilion. Hilda will create some space, yes, but Alter Ego's lineup is pretty bulky as well. I still personally lean towards AE for this game number 2.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially if this Gwyn doesn't get a good game, it is going to be so tough for her to have any impact the later the game goes. So we hop into game number 2. Once more, Alter Ego on that blue side, RSG Singapore on the red.
Alright, let's see how this will go. Right now, Alter Ego 1 game up against their opponents from Singapore here. RSG unfortunately did not demonstrate the best fundamentals for a team participating in the Snapdragon Pro Series at this point. So now, I'm sure they're eager to prove to us that it was just a fluke and that their true potential hides somewhere deeper.
Of course, the Alpha Gabe would be slightly faster in that clear compared to Yon. Game 1, we're trying to look for the Little Wanderer, and just like game 1, gonna lose most of his health right before the objective spawns. Should be able to get it with the retry, not a problem. RSG Singapore definitely having a slightly better start, especially with this Matilda.
Yeah, having a Matilda gives you a lot more freedom in the early game to make slight mistakes, since the guiding winds and the extra shielding will always allow you to get out a little bit safer. Looking at the overall emblems, this is an Impure Rage Guinevere with the Mage emblem, so there's a possibility that Yon is trying to go for damage.
Well, speaking of damage, you get the full combo, Revitalize from Dreams, not enough. First Blood for CS.
One of the longest single target CCs in the entire game, that Violet Requiem combo. The Revitalize kept Dreams alive for a pretty long time, but with 2 other members of RSG dishing out that DPS, there was no way of Dreams was getting out there. So that's going to be a pretty good start, especially since they gave the First Blood gold to CS on the Irritel 2. He's already winning out that gold lane matchup against the Granger. This is going to be, like you said, a much better start for RSG Singapore.
It's not the easiest to catch as well with this Matilda, constantly giving that 5-star ride out. But first turtle will spawn. In game 1, Alter Ego got every single objective. The RSG Singapore pulls from behind with gear to help him out. Gets caught by the Spear of Alpha, instantly goes down. Yon goes in, tries to look for the combo, gets pulled back control to Oblivion. And it's just miscommunication from RSG Singapore. They did not respect AE enough.
It's not just the lack of respect for AE, it's just straight up mistakes on a fundamental level. I don't know why Gear jumped so deep into the center of their entire team, and then Yon wasn't able to get the knockout necessary. He should have gotten out.
And they're gonna lose more than just that. All to protect the purple buff that doesn't even end up being there as Gabby takes the buff. And well, what seemed to be a better start for RSG Singapore has just spiraled out of control just like that.
A safer, more solid start is just instantly gone. That's just how quickly games can switch on a dime nowadays in MLBB. And Alter Ego now, after those 2 teamfight victories, feeling a lot more confident to try jumping in.
Once more, Yon needs to really be careful of picking his target, right? You can't jump into the Shadow Stampede, the pool is gonna disrupt your combo. Can't jump into the Law and Order. He falls behind. It's basically going to stall out the rest of his team's progress even more. And even with the Sicilian that ideally wants time, without this jungler being able to provide that impact, it is going to be tough for RSG.
I'm still not too sure if Yon intended to go tank or damage build on this Guinevere, but now I would definitely say going tank is a safer bet, considering the aggression from Alter Ego.
Oh my god, not even close. I mean, if he wants to switch to tank, yeah, no. If he wants to switch to tank, he gotta do it now. And even then, it feels like a half-baked one thanks to the Mage Emblem, so doesn't solve the problem for Yon completely, and Closer goes down again. That's the full plating down bot. Almost the full plating. Nino is going to proxy that wave first, and now the purple buff gone.
Yon did get it this time.
Tried as the flicker used by Nino. No more Nether Realm. They're gonna go Sanguine Claw. Pull back round down. Let's go down. They get the pull back onto Yon. Yon. Spatial Migration gets out of the way. Turtle in possession by Alter Ego. Nino just slams down Gear.
And Geve is still able to get the turtle after everything. Actually, still kind of a good trade for Alter Ego. Though we are definitely seeing slightly better discipline from RSG and the way they are taking that team fight right now, if they're able to capitalize on Alter Ego using resources and pushing far too early on, they definitely do have the tools needed to fight.
Yon once more forced out of his own jungle, allowing Gebe to continuously have an advantage. And this Hilda has been put out of commission very early on. Closer has not been able to perform his duties as a Hilda.
The problem is, Hilda is also a hero that got quite recently nerfed, right? There was an increase in the cooldown to that skill 2, which makes her a little less oppressive overall. And even in the past, she had a difficult time laning against super tanky sandbags like the Hylo. So Closer is not really able to contribute too much to the team fights, which makes it a big problem because he really is supposed to be RSG Singapore's early game ticket.
And that ticket basically ripped in half by AE, who is got above 4k goal advantage. Arriving at the scene earlier than RSG. Roundel shows himself first. Gebe also bot side. Yon not even get the knockout. Good timing with the Spear of Alpha, so Gear has to disengage with his ult as well. Alter Ego wants to find something bot side, but RSG Singapore at least were able to stop them. But unfortunately, the retry battle, I believe, it's going to be won by Yon, who takes his purple buff.
Yon needs anything that he can get at this point. He has been oppressed for most of the game. But I really gotta say, Geve is my... Oh, Hai's being chased down! Beautiful burst from CS.
Instantly popped. Back up from AE, late to the occasion, so RSG Singapore will be able to get away with that one without much repercussions.
They're still gonna try and contest the turtle despite all of this. So far, Geve has been really good at dodging that Violet Requiem, but this time...
Yeah, Nino not so lucky. Just 100-0 in an instant. Closer in the midst of things will be taken down by Dreams. Turtle still haven't been secured just yet. Yon barely healthy. And that is going to be a full engage from RSG Singapore, committing to the fight. And AE this time will not be so lucky. Bad impact, not taking down Dreams even with the glowing wand. RSG Singapore finding some signs of life and taking the turtle for themselves.
That teamfight victory was definitely attributed to CS overall though. That Irritel was doing a lot of damage over time, and because Gebe had already spent his Spear of Alpha earlier in the teamfight, wasn't able to use it to actually lock down the Irritel, which meant that it took them a lot longer to take down CS than necessary, giving Yon and Yunsky more space to continuously output damage onto their opponents. Very important fight there because it instantly narrows down the goal difference. It's not much now, only about 300 in favor of Alter Ego. Looking at the itemization, yep, Yon is going for a tankier build that is brute force into Thunderbelt. And I definitely agree that being a more solid frontline is important for RSG Singapore.
Yeah. And not just that, it is essentially a 4K goal swing in the past 2 minutes. So AE, all that lead that they worked for, all that shutdown that they got, amounts to almost nothing at this point. Although Gebe is still ahead in terms of experience. So it's a silver lining as we are approaching our first Lord in under a minute.
RSG Singapore does have a pretty strong mid to late game scaling. So even if they're a little behind early on, it's actually not too big a deal. And we can see CS is hurting a lot. One hit away from taking out Roundel in the mid lane. Alter Ego actually have to be somewhat careful here. RSG is starting to reach a power spike where they can straight up 5v5 against Alter Ego.
Especially CS. Not the easiest to catch. If you are the Granger, trying to land these skill shots onto an Irritel, which is significantly faster than you with that sprint, it's going to be tough. But still, I mean, RSG, now they have to... They've taken down the tier 1s in the side lanes, see if they can take down the one in the mid lane, which is going to be the focal point for both teams. But because Alter Ego did send 2 members up top, RSG's SG will get priority of the Lord.
Alter Ego gonna come over to see if they can contest this. Geve already revealing himself. Not too sure if they should do that too early. Oh!
Going on to Yunsky. Yunsky needs to get away. Will be able to make his way to safety with the flicker. Hai is getting chased down by Closer, but unfortunately Yunsky still ends up falling. Nino now lock gear down in place. That's the double kill for Gebe. A triple coming through, taken by Dreams this time. As CS is down, RSG have completely lost control of the objective. Alter Ego will take Lord.
I think it's very smart from Alter Ego to decide that they just up the tempo when RSG is least expecting it. And just run directly at them. In the previous fight, it took them too long because they were trying to slow things down to pick up the important cores and dodge abilities. But their lineup is actually very good at just no-brain run right into the opponent, you know? So RSG Singapore got caught off guard there. They lost Yunsky and Gear very early on. Yon could no longer continue. CS, unfortunately, I don't think had their ultimate available, which is why a lot of the DPS was missing as well.
See how much damage can Alter Ego do with this Lord. How much of that gold lead can they take back? I mean, we're looking at a almost 3,000 swing again in favor of Alter Ego, just like that. Same out the waves pretty well as well. Fat waves from every single lane, pretty much synced up. That's the macro supremacy from Alter Ego.
Alter Ego, they've been able to build up a gold lead once again, but it's still not actually that bad for RSG yet. Again, they have an Irritel, they have a Cecilia on there. Late game is going to be very, very solid. The goal now is just to try and survive as long as possible. To delay until the point where they can threaten Alter Ego with siege damage from behind.
And look at the Death Sonata shot, right? The splash damage is really hurting RSG Singapore a lot. There's no way around it. So the side lane tier 2s have been broken. All Holy Shields broken as well.
RSG, their base defense, not the best. They only really have Cecilia to act as artillery. The rest of them need to try and run at Alter Ego, and the Glorious Pathway just comes out right there. Oh!
CS tries to go for a flank, gets caught, but thankfully makes his way to safety, so Gebe ends up getting baited in. It's good punish by RSG Singapore.
At first, it looked like Gebe had actually landed a really nice Spear of Alpha onto CS, who was trying to run away from the flank. But because it was so clean, he actually ended up too far from his team to back him up. The Netherrealm literally could not reach him in time, whereas RSG was closer. And now,
Okay. Gonna flicker pull onto tree. Outer Ego once this fight continues to chase. And SPS, he's gone. Another pullback. Gear wants to get away, but gets chased down by Nino. And Outer Ego just shut down two of the crucial members of RSG.
a massive play by Nino right there. The flicker into Phobia skill to knock up on two members, including CS, and then specifically spacing out his Infernal Pursuit to wait for CS to use dash abilities before following up. Made sure that he was able to catch out that Irritel and chase RSG Singapore back into their half of the map. Otherwise, they could have actually gotten a tier 1 there. And because of this, Alter Ego now have priority over the Lord Pit. They're going to be the first ones to be able to go on over and scout things out.
Yeah, the Dark Wave. So Gebe is still a level ahead of Yon, which is going to be posing a bit of a problem if it comes down to the 50-50 coin toss. I think RSG, they have an idea, they're poking their heads around, but no realistic way to make a move in. Gil will lead the charge. Yon also fishing for any sort of avenue, but they just can't find any.
I like the positioning from Alter Ego here. They're not pushing too far because they know that they get caught out by RSG here. It's actually really bad. They want to ideally make sure Yon misses that Violet Requiem combo while keeping an eye on CS's position so that the Irritel doesn't get too much free damage out. Seeing both teams rotate a little bit around the Lord Pit, Closer is in the bush, has his eyes on Gebe. Will they commit?
Oh, it seems like they will go onto Yon first to pull the trigger. Good Winter Crown from Yon to stall out the damage. Netherrealm keeping the backline alive. Outer Ego, fourth back. CS uncontested, unchecked. He's just gunning down everyone with the heavy crossbow. Closer takes the Cyclone Eye and straight for the backline. Takes down two. And Yon, one round down, traces live. But throughout all of that, Outer Ego still traded even. And with Ramdel's passive, he is back up and ready to go. RSG though did take the Lord.
They were able to whittle down Gebe enough and force him to Winter Crown at precisely the timing that he needed to Retribution. So because of that, Yon got it for free. They still ended up trading a little more bodies in total, but it's actually pretty worth it for RSG. I think they're starting to reach the point where they realize they're quite good at taking slower fights because they're able to continuously sustain with the Matilda, continuously poke from afar with Yunsky to get stacks up on this Sicilian. And we're starting to see RSG come online just a little bit here.
And if you're Closer, you're telling your teammates that, guys, I'm doing so much damage, just keep me alive. As long as not Closer, CS. If CS stays alive, I really felt like Alter Ego is going to have a tough time clearing him out. But AE continues to be proactive. Prolific gun done for CS. Yon with the in and out bait and switch. Round DL looking for Pool. Cannot find his spell of Alpha onto Yon. Netherrealm used very early on. It's about to run down. Here it comes. Alter Ego wants to kill. They find Yon. Yunsky isolated. Slam by Nino. And Alter Ego once more makes the first move and wants to end it all. CS, he's trying his best. And no one goes down from the side of AE at the end of that.
Really nice gameplay coming in from Alter Ego here. You can see that it's just a continuous back and forth. Oh, Gebe!
Gonna be using his Winter Crown again. Gebe wants to get out. CS trying to chase him down. One last roll. CS finds the kill, but Highs on top of it just lines him out with the Rhapsody. And a snipe with the Death Sonata. A double kill into a wipeout converted by Highs.
Alter Ego are playing effectively around the Shadow Stampede from Roundel. Wouldn't typically be your main form of initiation, but is very good at pulling people out of position when they're trying to run away from you. RSG Singapore was getting pulled back one by one right into the Spear of Alpha, and Nino being able to separate some of the flanking members away while getting his own double kill on the Phobius. He has really been popping off this game, creating a lot of space for Alter Ego alongside Dreams, opening up the team fights with that glorious pathway. RSG Singapore, they have a lot of damage, but they're not able to control the team fights well enough because of these ultimates from the bulkier frontline members of Alter Ego.
Oh, what? Got pulled back mid-jump?
Is that I didn't even know that was possible.
Me neither.
Actually pulled out of mid-air. Wow, that feels bad.
Wow, you learn something new every day. I thought that happens to Gatot, but not Guinevere. So now this Lord is completely compromised. No yawn means no Lord contest.
I think Aroundell is just showing us how Faramis is meant to be played. This is some of the most aggressive Faramis performance I have seen in a very long time. And honestly, I am loving it. It is doing such a good job. He's supporting his team. He's dishing out damage. He's pulling people out of safety. It's very, very good. Looking at the items, both gold laners are maxed out now. Heis has actually sold his shoes as well. Gone for a Wind of Nature alongside that Sky Piercer. Gebe as well. CS? Ooh, hold on. Yawn isn't actually maxed out on items yet. Still missing one on this tank Guinevere. So we can see that there is a notable difference there in the jungler's farm.
I wonder what the last item is going to be. It could be Queen's Wings, I guess. He did have the Winter Crown already. The closer this got is Antique Cuirass. This Lord is going to crash into structure, so top inhibitor guaranteed for Outer Ego. Singapore, what's the plan? We've seen Outer Ego willing to commit battle spells just to run down RSG Singapore, and they're doing a very good job at not just running down the opponent team, but also juggling the damage that this Irritel is outputting. Another growth pathway laid out. CS jumps forward with the heavy crossbow, trying to do the splash damage. Dreams is just eating all of it up. As Closer gets gunned down, heavy crossbow expires, and once more Outer Ego. No one. CS gets dragged back. Wisdom Nature hops away. Heavy crossbow off cooldown. Locked down by Dreams. Immortality. Iron Switch brings him back to life. It's double kill for CS. And now getting brought in by the Guiding Wind. Spell of Alpha misses. Yawn gets a Violent Requiem knockup. RSG Singapore playing the long game. Doing it well. Winter Crown expires as Gebe will try to fight CS. But fights the Spear of Alpha on the tree.
Ooh.
Takes down CS and comes back to life. Still, he falls, but AE has just eliminated the biggest threat. Yawn now wants to go on Roundel, but Dreams is still around. Finds the knockup into a Violent Requiem, purified away, tries to chase Yawn. Winter Crown from Yawn to stay alive. Re-engages onto Dreams, but this fight pretty much done and dusted. Dreams has the immortality, but they want more. Circling Ego, Dreams stays alive at the end.
Manages to keep his immortality on top of all of that. This Hylos is a pain in the butt, but that was a very impressive defense by RSG Singapore. We did talk about this, right? They do seem to be a little better at extended engagements where Alter Ego isn't able to just surgically pick him off one by one. RSG, they have Yunsky and CS to play around. Both cores now hitting their final items here. Wind of Nature as well, saving CS in a really, really important timing because Alter Ego committed quite heavily to trying to take out this Irritel so that they can push into the base. They still have a goal lead, but 20 minutes in, only 2k isn't actually that big of a difference.
Yawn just wants to get out, almost got pulled back to his death again. And honestly, if Gebe didn't finish off CS with his dying breath just now, this could have been a way different game. Let's see how RSG deals with this. CS needs to clear out their midway first. And of course, not to forget, Yunsky is definitely skilled up at this point. More than 20 minutes into the game, those bad impacts are going to absolutely start shredding health bars.
Alter Ego playing very cautiously. Oh, Heis almost one-shot by CS, but able to dash out in time.
That's one heavy crossbow shots. RSG Singapore should feel a bit more confident, but again, swimming against the tides every single second of the game. No inhibitors means that Alter Ego, they're really not in a rush. They really don't need to rush this. Just play the game. RSG Singapore will eventually have to deal with the waves. Looking for Gear first. Gear is going to disengage with the circling Ego. CS on the side, has no shields, jumps in, looks for Heis. Wisdom Nature keeps Heis alive. That's going to be Lord for Alter Ego. Secured by Gebe. Yawn comes back to life with immortality. Goes immune, but still ends up going down. And everyone else from RSG Singapore on the retreat. CS needs to be kept alive, and Gear will do just that.
This is an incredibly tense game here between Alter Ego and RSG. Alter Ego knows a clean sweep here. Instantly moves him on 1 game away to qualifying directly to the challenge finals. RSG not willing to give it to them lightly. The mid waves are actually somewhat synced. Unfortunately, mid lane pushing a little bit faster than the rest, so RSG able to start whittling down the Lord before the rest of the waves can come on in. Alter Ego, can they end this here?
CS, no sprint for another 50 seconds. Another flicker in. Nino wants to find the engage on the closer. CS getting ran away. And now Alter Ego just needs to focus on the crystal and get rid of CS. And Alter Ego finally closes up shop against RSG. Singapore is 2-0 for the Indonesian squad.
A very, very hard-fought victory from Alter Ego as RSG